passive income.
Passive income.
Passive income.
Passive income. Everybody talks about it. Now, I'm sure a lot of you want to start your own passive income stream in 2022. So you know what? Today I'm going to give you guys the top 5 passive income streams that you guys can start from home with literally no experience or qualifications, and you guys can do this all in 2022. Oh, and did I mention you could do this all from the comfort of your home? You heard that right. All you need is an internet connection and a device to use, preferably a desktop or laptop, but realistically, any device would work. So with that being said, let's go over the top 5 methods that you guys can use to make passive income in 2022. Keep in mind this list will go from lowest to highest barrier to entry. Number 1, phone farming. So what is phone farming? Essentially, here's the idea, guys. You're going to go out and buy a bunch of phones. Now a good starting point could be around 5 to 10 phones to test it out. And what you're going to do with these phones is run multiple money-making apps, and yes, these run passively. As well, some of these apps can be stacked together and ran simultaneously to earn even more passive income per phone. So how difficult is it to get into phone farming? Well, it's not difficult at all, guys. That's why it's first on our list. Now all you need really is an Android phone. If you guys have one of these lying around, let's say an old phone from 2016, 15, you guys can actually grab that up, or a tablet, and plug it in, and from here you guys can test out phone farming. You guys should check out the video in the card above if you guys are planning to do that. It will also be in the description for you guys, as this channel right here is actually heavily centered around phone farming. So if you guys want to learn more about phone farming, make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe, as well hit the notification bell so that you guys don't miss any new videos. Now I'm not going to go into too much depth with phone farming. That is essentially the idea of it, and you guys can continue building up the amount of phones that you have. The more phones you get, the more you make. And currently for ROI, you guys can expect anywhere around 4 to 5 months ROI. So it's a pretty decent investment, and it really just costs like maybe 40 bucks to get started. Currently I have around 80 devices running with the phone farm, and it earns anywhere around $700 to about $1,000 every single month. And these apps will actually pay you through PayPal, crypto, or even gift cards. So yeah guys, that is phone farming. Make sure you check out that playlist in the description that will guide you guys through how to start a phone farm if you guys are interested. Next up on our list, we have eBay dropshipping. Now you guys probably know what dropshipping is at this point, because everybody and their pets have, well, heard of dropshipping. So guys, with eBay dropshipping, it's actually pretty simple to get started. In fact, it costs $0. All you have to do is create an eBay account and make sure that's verified. Now once you get that account verified, you guys can head over to AliExpress, and on AliExpress you will find a lot of products, a lot of products. Now with this large selection of products, which ones should you guys choose to resell? Well guys, here's the trick, and it is easier said than done. However guys, before we get into the trick of finding products, let me just quickly explain to everybody who doesn't know what this business model actually is. Essentially, you're sourcing products from China at a lower price, and you guys are going over to eBay and relisting the exact same product for a marked up price. Now every time somebody purchases that item, you guys will go directly to the supplier and ship it directly to the customer's address. Therefore, you hold zero inventory, and you guys are able to profit on the difference between the two prices. So going back to our strategy for finding these products, essentially what you guys want to look for now, like I said, it is easier said than done. However, if you guys can find something that has a higher perceived value, meaning the customer expects it to be at a higher price than it actually is selling for. As well, while starting off with eBay, I would suggest selling something within the mid-tier, so I would not sell like $3 products, because to make any decent profit, you guys would have to actually sell like hundreds of these things, and if you're entering this manually one by one by copying the address and going over to AliExpress and pasting it in and sending it out and repeating the process over and over, that can be very time consuming. Now obviously there's probably some applications out there or extensions that you can use to help you with that. However, as a beginner, we're just going to go and do it manually. So essentially we're looking for something with a higher perceived value, which will also play into getting higher profit margins. And for some reason, and obviously there are some exceptions to this, you guys will find that on AliExpress, whenever you guys find a higher priced item, the shipping times are actually much better on them, and it's relatively cheap for shipping in general. So to summarize, basically find a product on AliExpress that can sell for more, and what you guys want to do is make sure that actually has decent shipping times. So you guys can either select shipped from the USA, or you guys can actually choose something that is a little bit higher priced That way its shipping should be a lot faster. As well, you guys have to take into account it should be selling at market price. So every time you guys go to eBay and look at all the other listings from other sellers, your price should also be around the same range as theirs. As well, make sure you keep in mind that you'll also have to pay eBay fees, which is around 12% of your listing price. So make sure you price that in with your listing. So overall, eBay dropshipping, you guys can start it with zero capital. All you guys have to do is find the right product, and obviously that's the hard part. So I'll leave that for you guys to do. I've done it before as well, and yes, we have generated a decent amount of sales in the past. Obviously, some products can get outdated, so you guys might have to continuously look for new products, but overall the business model is still decent and worth a shot. So next up on our list, we have social media. So obviously you've heard this one before, the typical YouTube channels, Instagram pages, or TikTok accounts. Now, how do you guys actually make money off this? If you don't already know, you guys got ad revenue, you have affiliates, and even sponsorships. Or who knows, if you guys are creative enough, you could also sell your own products using your following. So essentially what you're trying to do here is attract a lot of attention so that you guys can build a community. The bigger you guys get, the more you will be paid. So yes, this is more so semi-passive because you guys will have to put in work once in a while, or every single week. But in a sense, it is passive because once you guys put up that post, you guys don't really have to do anything else, and the ad revenue, the affiliates, all that revenue would continue to pour in as you sit back and relax. So obviously you should pick something that you're comfortable with. So if you're better off doing Instagram, then by all means go for that Instagram page. Same thing applies if you guys are great at doing TikTok, go for TikTok. If you guys are great at doing YouTube, then go for a YouTube channel. Now, if you don't have any following whatsoever or have zero experience with anything, I will say starting a YouTube channel will have a lot more obstacles you guys have to get through, in the sense that you have to learn how to video edit, how to record, how to optimize your videos for YouTube. But in reality, most of you guys can still get that info from YouTube itself. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Instagram or TikTok is any easier than YouTube. However, in my experience, and I'm sure a lot of you guys might agree, YouTube in general usually does pay more than the other platforms, but you guys should choose the platform that you feel most comfortable with. As well, you guys should choose a platform that matches the type of content you're creating. So to summarize, social media can become a decent semi-passive income stream. However, I will say it will take a lot of time and patience and effort, so make sure you guys are ready for that. And realistically, you won't be making much at the start. In fact, it would probably take a few years to get to a point where your pay is actually equivalent to the amount of effort you put in. Then again, there are a few people out there that have done it in a short span of time, so don't take my word for it. I'm a nobody currently, obviously, guys. But it would help if you did smash that subscribe button, so I really do appreciate it if you do. So yeah, social media difficulty, pretty difficult compared to everything else on this list. Is it really that hard to get started, or the barrier to entry? Not really. You guys just need some recording equipment, some effort, and some time. Alright, so moving on to number 4 on our list, we have P2P Lending. Now, P2P lending is short for peer-to-peer lending. So essentially what you're doing here is providing a loan to other companies that need capital. And you guys are doing so through an online site that you guys can register for an account on. Now, there are 2 sites that I can name off the top of my head, one of which is actually one that I use, and I have an account with them for around 2 years already, and it's been pretty decent. I will make an update video on that. Now, the one that I use is Lending Loop, and simply because I'm Canadian, I'm from Canada, and Lending Loop is for Canadian. Whereas Lending Club, at least I believe, was only available in the United States, so obviously I wasn't able to register for that. But they both have the same function, so essentially what you guys are doing is giving out some money in exchange for a higher interest rate. Now, don't get me wrong, there is a lot of risk involved with this, so don't take my advice for it. Do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor whatsoever. However, I will say with the last 2 years being invested with Lending Loop, it has been a decent experience. Overall, I had mostly safer loans. Now, with that being said, I actually had 0 defaults on those loans, despite, the virus coming in and slowing down the economy. I will say though, there were a few late payments where the companies did not pay their interest or their principal for that month, which is understandable. I mean, they weren't really open for business at the time. Besides the point though, you guys can earn a decent interest rate and get a passive income stream through these sites. Now, the earnings will vary depending on your risk tolerance, but essentially guys, you will get around 10 to maybe around 18% every year. Currently, my interest rate is around 13 to 14% every year. And yes, you guys can do this passively. All you have to do is put in your money and leave it. That's it. It's that simple. Once again, make sure you do your own research before investing into any of these sites. So please do not blame me for any losses. I do not take accountability for any of that. I just want to let you guys know, but I will say link for those sites will be in the description. So to summarize, P2P lending, it's very simple, not very time consuming at all once you create the account. That is all you guys really need to do. Now, why is it listed near the bottom of the list? Well guys, essentially you're not going to make very much off of it unless you had a decent amount of money to put in. So therefore the barrier to entry is lifted higher, not in the sense of effort, but rather you guys actually have to have a decent amount of capital to make anything worthwhile. Then again, it doesn't mean that you guys can't start. If you guys had even just like 25 bucks, you could create a single loan and make, you know, the 14-15% off that $25. Moving on to our last thing on the list, which is crypto mining. So with crypto mining, it's last on our list simply because it can get a little bit complicated in the sense that you guys have to know computers just a little bit. As well, you have to acknowledge that it can be very risky, as well speculative. And on top of that, if that wasn't already enough, you guys actually have to put in a decent amount of money to get it started. Now with that being said, it can be very rewarding to get into crypto mining. Now I'm going to give you guys two methods here, kind of like a bonus, I guess you could say. This is 5.5 methods to making passive income. Essentially, the first method is crypto mining, but with a lower barrier to entry, meaning less income, but you guys can still get started with it. And the second method is a little bit of a higher barrier to entry as it requires more capital and knowledgeability. So with that being said, let's jump into the first method. So method number one, you guys are going to try something called helium mining. Now there are a lot of projects out there that you guys can get these other smaller type of miners that mine different various altcoins, which obviously you guys can convert into Bitcoin, Ethereum, or just fiat currency. But currently the one that I'm actually involved in, and there's one actually sitting on my desk as we speak, is actually called helium mining. Now this one is actually really simple to set up. All you have to do, plug in a LAN cable and simply plug in the power cord, and that's it. And the best part, you guys can get started for free, absolutely for zero cost. Now that sounds too good to be true, but I'm going to show you guys how you can get your free helium miner in this video in the card above or in the description after you guys finish this video. I swear guys, it's not BS or anything. You're literally paying no money. It's absolutely free, no shipping costs, nothing. Now obviously this sounds way too good to be true, and there is a catch guys, and I will tell you that right now. Essentially this company will give you guys these miners to set up in your house. In exchange, they will take 80% of your profits, which is actually pretty hefty if you ask me. But to be able to get into something for free, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer unless you guys want to go out and purchase your own helium miner, which you guys could also do for around $500 to $600. You guys will be able to collect full profits from that. However, I will say waiting times are currently insane. So I'm not going to make the decision for you guys. You guys can go ahead and choose whichever one you want to go with. Heck, you guys could even choose both if you want, but just keep in mind you can only have one helium miner per household. Now moving on to the second method, which is GPU mining. Now GPU mining can be very profitable. However guys, it is actually very capital intensive. Currently I have a singular rig set up in my basement, and that one costed around $4,500 at the time. However, with the shortage of chips and GPUs becoming more rare to find, you guys will actually see that this thing would cost me a lot more to purchase right now if I were to build that rig as of currently. However guys, it is very passive, and once you set it up, you guys can expect to make a decent amount of passive income. My current rig earns around $400 every single month, and the best part, that is mostly profit as well, even after paying electricity. Now you guys will have to do a little bit more research on this. Depending on your electric rate, mine is actually relatively cheap. As well, you guys will have to find a GPU that's at a decent price. Then you guys can actually get into GPU mining. But I will say one difficulty that I went through with building this rig was actually the building part. Basically, you're putting together a giant PC. However, you guys will experience most likely some troubleshooting issues along the way. I still remember spending hours trying to configure this to get the rig to finally work or turn on, as well as integrate it with the mining software. However guys, I will say if you guys really want to figure out how to do it, YouTube a bunch of tutorials, trial and error. It will definitely get you guys through it. Now obviously there's also another way to crypto mine, and that is using ASIC mining. However, we're not even going to go there because these things are really expensive and I have no experience with them whatsoever, so I can't even recommend it. Maybe it's profitable if you guys want to check that out. I'm sure there's a lot of other YouTube videos out there for you guys to check out on ASIC mining. However, that is more risky in my opinion, because with GPU mining, guys, you can actually sell your GPUs even after, let's just say, Bitcoin is no longer a thing, or Ethereum can't be mined anymore, and which is actually coming up soon. But yeah guys, with GPUs you can actually sell them, and people actually buy these just for their own PCs, for gaming. It is a lot more versatile compared to ASIC miners, whereas an ASIC miner can only mine coins. So that is why I go with GPU miners, so that if, let's just say, someday mining doesn't become profitable anymore, or if there's just no such thing as mining anymore, then I can actually sell those off and recoup some capital just by simply selling it as a computer part. Now the ROI on crypto mining will definitely vary depending on the price of the crypto you're mining, as well as your GPUs that you get, or whichever miner you decide to go with. But currently, as it stands, the ROI for crypto mining can be around a year or so for a singular rig. Obviously, this depends on what price you pay for all these parts. So those are the top 5 methods I'm looking at for passive income / semi-passive income going into 2022. If you guys want to see part 2, make sure you smash up the like button. Once we actually get around 50 likes, I will make part 2 for all of you, as there's a lot more ideas on this list. And I can't wait to share it all with you guys, so make sure you go ahead and subscribe and check out the video on screen right now. I'll see you guys over there. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Peace out for now.